friends, this side Rahul Magan here is a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting and also a venture capitalist. Standing today on 13th September 2019, practically 2 a.m. in the morning, we are going to be shooting a pretty important video about what's happening at the WeWork. It's a realistic example, but the paid and sold video, it's a relatively short video, the more detailed video which would be coming once we conclude our research in very detailed note. What's happening in the WeWork? So first of all, let me show you, it's a today's newspaper, right? And in this newspaper, we need to go to page number 5. Okay? In this page number 5, there is an article which we have, and that article is this. You can see that article. We have this article, and the article is this: WeWork co-founder Fortune Singh has an IPO hangs in balance. We're going to have a very separate video that how to convert the black money into the white money using the SoftBank and Sequoia valuation principles. Not to be worried about that, because now the conversion of black money to white money is not by Hawala. It's not transferring your money to the tax haven. The simplistic solution: create a startup, increase the valuation and launch IPO. And hire the top investment bankers of the globe, which are JP, Citi and all. So simple thing to convert black money to white money. Launch a startup, be in losses for several years, doesn't matter. Hire an investment bankers after a few years, launch an IPO, get 5x, 4x, 3x, whatever you guess, and then go to hell this startup. We got our money converted into white, so there is nothing to pay, right? Now here is a basically the lot of action which is happening in the VC space about the basically about the WeWork, and that is that first it is that there is a very good line, although the media do not show, with WeWork valuation plummeting. I'm surprising. WeWork said that few months before they are having valuation of $50 billion. $50 billion. If today Mr. Jobs would be alive, Mr. Steve Ballmer Jobs, I think that would be very interesting, because the way he used to criticize, I literally missing him nowadays, because if he would be alive, he would have criticized these valuation companies like anything. And I'm damn sure that both SoftBank, Sequoia and all these big boys, they would dare to go before Mr. Steve Ballmer Jobs. The way he used to criticize, it's absolutely stunning, right? Now there is an article that with WeWork valuation plummeting, anxious is growing about when, how, or even whether the hipster office rental company should go public. $50 billion company. And with this, their own bankers are nerfed, and please note that the bankers are none other than the Goldman. I think, if I'm not mistaken, yes, yeah, they have hired the two best bankers of the globe, iBankers, Goldman and Chase. So Goldman or Chase are the leading investment bankers of WeWork, and still the moral of the story come with WeWork valuation plummeting, anxious is growing about them, how or even whether the hipster office rental should go public, with even its own bankers unnerved. In question 2 is whether now leaves other fast growing money burning firms, so-called unicorns. So-called unicorns. Because what is the definition of unicorn? Never forget. Post-money valuation equal to pre-money valuation plus amount invested. And who created this valuation? The greatest bank of the universe, SoftBank, who now launching several $billion of bonds in the domestic market. I really sometimes messed up. You got $108 billion from Microsoft and Apple, and together you created a vision fund. Where is the vision of this fund? No one knows except SoftBank. And now you are basically issuing thousands of millions of billions of the bonds in your local market, in the Tokyo market, in Japanese yen. Don't worry, we're going to have a separate video. But to cut the long discussion short, the moral is, even the best bank of the globe, Goldman and Chase, they cannot figure out $12 billion of valuation of WeWork. Just read it. Newman, who is basically co-founder, Newman, who held WeWork, raised more than $12 billion while never turning a dime of the profit. It's said to be pressing ahead with the plans for an initial public offer by simultaneously hunting for more capital. They need money. They cannot survive without money because there is no profitability. How can you be profitable? You set one lease setup, another lease setup, third lease setup, and you are making people fools that you are a profitable company. Now the problem is, look at that. Both of its leading financial advisors, JP Morgan and Goldman, have concerns about the proceeding with IPO that could have valued company low as 15 billion. 50 billion, 50 billion company is now wanted to raise IPO at 15 billion, 15. If the eyes and the ears of the sleeping people are not yet open, that this is not the VC which is going on, this is valuation which is going on, then there is no another example of that. There is no other example of that. That a company in the last 2-3 months who claimed the valuation of $50 billion, his co-founder is running almost the entire globe in flights and meeting investors to raise the money at 15 billion valuation, 15. And my last line, recession is not yet officially announced. Recession is not yet officially announced, and please note that US is not in recession this time. Unlike 2008 to 10, US was in recession. The recession was started by the American banking system. This time, American banking system is standing tall and strong. They are out of the game. So the baton should not be passed to them. But this valuation game will continue to happen. The so-called post-money valuation equal to pre-money valuation plus amount invested will continue to happen, and such WeWork examples will continue to come, and the regulators worldwide are either paid, or they are incompetent, or they are sleeping, or all. That is. And I hope few eyes will wake up after this video. If not, happy sleeping. You know my mobile number, +91, which is an Indian code, 9899242978. You know our fixed income platform, www.fixedincome.global. Have a great time and happy 50 billion valuation. Thank you.